What is going on, investors? Hopefully you guys are doing well out there. A little something different for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about Tesla. This is a stock that I covered a few weeks ago. I'll put a link to that in the description below where I went over the financials and all the sales and things like that at the company. I'm not going to do that in today's video. What I'm going to talk about is something I talked about on that video. Now, Tesla, when I recorded that video, it just reported earnings, and I want to say it was right here on this candle. The stock shot up huge. Stock shot up big, made, I think, an all-time high shortly either the day of or the day after it recorded earnings. Now, this was up at $1,800 per share, and I said on the video that I wanted to buy Tesla, but I don't want to buy at all-time highs. I wanted to see the stock trade sideways, make some kind of pattern before I started making my decision. So today's video, I'm going to walk you through my thought process. Am I going to buy Tesla at these prices? Because look, it was at $1,800. Now it's down here at $1,400. That is a 20% decline in the shares. Would I buy Tesla today? Now, first thing you want to always factor in is what kind of news is going on. There's a little bit of chatter about Tesla. You had South Korea maybe considering taking away their EV incentives because Tesla kind of hogs them. We do have a shareholder meeting coming up here, September 22nd. That, in my mind, is probably the next available point where Tesla could make some news. Tesla could make news at any time, but they might share something big for their shareholder meeting. That's not always the case, but you could have a potential catalyst or a potential pop until the 22nd. So I kind of feel like I have today, which is around the 10th of August. I might have a few weeks here before there's this catalyst here. The other thing I would normally do in stocks is maybe compare them. I would take a Tesla and compare it to a GM, or compare it to a Ford and compare their price to sales or their price to earnings. That is difficult with Tesla. As we know, the valuation on this stock has just blown its top. So it's very hard to compare to another automaker. The other thing you could do is just look historically. So I'm on Seeking Alpha here, and you go over to charting when you're on the stock page. And I think one of maybe the only ways I can think of to analyze Tesla, because they don't have a lot of earnings right now, their book value is a little weird, but you can do price to sales. Okay, what have shareholders paid versus sales for Tesla in the past? And we still see it's in an elevated range. I got a 5-year time horizon here. I actually see a little bit more demand for these shares when they hit 6. When you had 6 times sales at Tesla, what happened? Oftentimes the stock sold off. We were up here at 8 times sales, the stock sold off. We hit 8 times sales, stock sold off. We hit closer to 6 times sales, stock sold off. Stock hit 6 times sales here, sold off. Now we're all the way up at here at 10. So you're paying 10 times sales. So from a price to sales basis, I'm still probably hesitating a little bit on Tesla. The last thing you want to do is pull up a chart. And I think you want to pull up 2 types of charts. You want to pull up a daily. You could also put up a weekly chart, but I also have a monthly chart here. And I want to show you just the 2 completely different pictures that these charts pick. So we've got a daily chart here, and we've got some moving averages on here. And what we see here is the blue line just crossed this purple line. And we see when that happens, we see it happen back in here. This stock makes a downward move. Now, when the blue line crosses the purple, it actually triggers usually a buy signal, especially when you combine it with an RSI, or in this case, a MACD. We see here the MACD has rolled over. It peaked back up in here when the shares were much more elevated, and it is rolling over. So that to me is a positive sign, but we still have this convergence of these moving averages, which I would like to see this blue line tick positive. That to me would be a bullish sign. Now on the monthly chart, it paints a completely different picture. Take a look at this. We have the MACD still accelerating. In fact, we're way overbought here, it appears. And we've got these moving averages that have really diverged here, and we're way above it still. We're way gapped above it. This is why you always want to look at different time frames. If all possible, maybe get a TradeStation account. I'm not here supporting them or promoting them, but get an account where you can look at monthly views, daily views, and kind of get an idea here. So for me, from a monthly perspective, Tesla still seems way overvalued. From the daily perspective, I'm still on the fence here. I actually am likely going to wait. Now, I'll tell you the spot where I'd love to buy Tesla is down here at the $1,000 levels. Notice that we made a peak here, and we had some, this provided some resistance until it popped up. So that means if the stock starts trading closer to the $1,000 share mark, this will provide, I wouldn't say significant support, but some support. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to be jumping in the comments and be like, there's no way you're going to get Tesla at $1,000 per share. Well, I'm sure these people were saying, there was no way you were going to get this at $1,400 just a few weeks later. I mean, we're talking about, this is like 2 weeks of trading right here, back from when it made. I mean, I don't think a lot of people, when it touched $1,800 per share, were thinking this stock was going to go down 20% over the next 2 weeks, but that's exactly what happened. Now I'm anticipating this stock decline, and that would be another 40% get down to my price target. Probably not, but what I am looking for is a stronger base up here. Let's see if we can create a much more larger base up here. It appears that this stock has some demand right here, right at the $1,400 level. What happens right here? Does the stock pop back up, or does it break this support? Because if it breaks this support, it's coming down here to 1,300, maybe 1,200. I also noticed in the market today, there seems to be, and it may be just a one-day thing, maybe a little bit of rotation out of the tech stocks like Tesla and Amazon, and a more rotation into the beaten down stocks like the casino stocks, the airlines, the cruise lines, the hotels. So if that trend continues, that's probably not going to be favorable for Tesla. But Tesla's right on the line. I'd say if you're a gambling guy, right at this $1,400, you might predict that, hey, it's going to chop around here. But if the next move is higher, then yes, it will go from 14 back up to 16, maybe even 17 or 18. But if it does break here, man, you've got a lot of space down here where I don't see this stock stopping until it hits 13, maybe even 1275 or so. And if it really gets bearish, it could easily fill these gaps. Notice you have these gaps here, so there's not a lot of supply or demand right here. Typically stocks tend to fall through these gaps. And, you come down here to 11, maybe even $12 share. I certainly would be very, very interested in there, because then I think your risk reward profile is a lot different. Your downside's probably closer to 1,000, where your upside's at 1,800. Here at the $1,400 level, your downside, I think, is 1,000, and your upside is back up to 1,800. So, there's the risk reward there is actually slightly, it's almost right in the middle. And that's typically where you're trying to buy stocks. But I like to try to push my luck a little bit and maybe get this stock down in here. Now, there's obviously some option plays that you can play with this if you know those strategies. For the sake of this video, I'm not really going to go into those, but I just wanted to cover that. Tesla is a stock I want to get back in. I was in it. I got stopped out in November. It was a stock I had bought back in the 300s. It traded up into the $900 range, and I got stopped out of it when we had this pretty large crash here back in March. Now, it's a stock I want to get back in. Probably should have done that a little bit sooner, but things are a lot less murky back here in April and May. And so this stock has run away from me, and I do want to try to get back into it. I just wanted to walk you through a video where I talk about my thought process, so maybe you can apply this not only to Tesla, but maybe some other stocks that you're looking at. I would definitely bring up a daily view. Definitely bring up a monthly view. It'll give you two different views of the stock. Keep in mind any potential catalyst coming forward for Tesla. I believe it's this shareholder meeting and then likely earnings after that. And then any kind of latest news that may be affecting the stock as well. And then finally, the macro environment. Like I said, there might be a rotation going on in stocks. I don't know. We'll see if that plays out over the next few weeks. So that was Tesla for you. We'll see if I get into them. I'll surely let you guys know if I happen to buy some shares. Right now, I'm going to stay on the sidelines. I'm going to watch this $1,400 level, see if it holds, then maybe jump in there. If it doesn't hold, I think there's going to be some really good opportunities to buy Tesla somewhere in this range between, call it the $1,100 and $1,300 range. I think that would be a really nice entry point if you're able to get it in there. So there you go. That was Tesla. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like this kind of video, leave me a comment below. If you didn't like it, hit that thumbs down and tell me why you didn't like it. We'll be back some other time tomorrow, more than likely. Thanks again. Good luck with your investments.